In this presentation, we want to share some information with parents who may have a child with a developmental delay or disability, or a child who has different thinking, learning, or behavior needs. We hope it can be useful as you help your child get ready to go to kindergarten in the fall. All kindergartners need patience and understanding, and kindergarten teachers are aware that new students need a lot of guidance to help them be successful in school. Most parents have concerns about how it's going to go, the differences between preschool and kindergarten, and what the experience is going to be like for a child who may need a range of supports. Our mission at Arkansas Support Network is to recognize and support every person's right to be included in the life of the community. We believe it's important to start thinking about how to support children and adolescents with disabilities or developmental delays as early as possible, and to provide them with resources and services they need to learn and develop life skills. It's important not to assume that your child's disability or need for support will limit them from participating with other children their age at school. Keeping in mind your vision for your child's future and learning as much as you can about the special education process can help you to know what steps to take. The purpose of special education services and any other type of program offered by the school is to give children the right support so that they can be a part of the everyday activities of the school. IDEA is a federal law that gives schools that receive federal government funding some guidelines and rules for when students ages 3 to 21 qualify for special education services. These rules make sure that children get the support they need to access an appropriate education at school. In special education conferences, the school should offer you a copy of your rights as a parent under IDEA. Preparing ahead of time for any change helps us to be calmer and more able to think and make decisions. The more information you have about kindergarten transition and what to expect in the process, the better. It can be helpful to take some time to think about two questions. 1, what are your concerns for your child as they go into kindergarten? And 2, what do you want the kindergarten experience to be like for your child? Keeping the answers to these questions in mind can help you to communicate clearly to school staff what your hopes and expectations are for your child in kindergarten. If your child attends a preschool program, the staff there should be able to give you information about the transition process and how they can help and support you. They'll help to get your child's records and information to the people in the school district who will help with the transition to kindergarten. Usually, preschool programs collaborate with the Northwest Arkansas Education Service Cooperative. The Education Co-op is a public school agency that works to make sure all children ages 3 to 5 have the special education services they need. They help preschool centers to connect parents with the new school and make sure all the paperwork and process is done right. They can also provide therapies and instruction for children ages 3 to 5 before they go to kindergarten. If your child does not attend a preschool program and you have concerns about their needs going into kindergarten, it's going to be very important that you contact the school nearest your house to find out what you need to do. The school personnel can tell you the steps you need to take or put you in contact so that your child can get the right services. The school will want any records, reports, or information that can help them to understand your child's needs. There are a few things you can do ahead of time to start getting ready. In the spring, you can find out when general enrollment happens for all students in your school district, including kindergartners. The school's or district's website should give information about what documents and immunizations are needed. Documents that are a part of the special education program for preschool and school-aged children are legal forms. It can be helpful to create a system at home that makes sense to you for storing reports and paperwork for later when you need them. Finding ways to visit the new school with your child can help to relieve anxiety about the change. You can ask the school team or call to see what opportunities you might have to meet the principal or other staff and tour the building. Kindergarten transition conferences are meetings with school staff and parents in the spring before kindergarten to figure out the best ways to support your child to be successful at the new school. The purpose of the first transition conference in the spring is to make a referral and start the special education evaluation process. In the second conference, usually before public school is out in May, the team reviews the evaluation results and data. If your child qualifies, the group will develop an Individualized Education Program, or IEP, and talk about services they can provide. These suggestions work for any meeting you attend with the school, or anyone who provides services to your child now and in the future. It's good to make a list of your questions and concerns ahead of time. This helps you to remember them, especially if there are several people sharing information. The focus of any of these meetings is your child. Everything should center around their needs and how to help them. You can invite someone you trust to attend with you and support you. Preschool staff who know your child can attend the transition conferences with you if you ask them. You can ask for a meeting time that's right for you and the people that you want to invite. The school should work to find a date and time that works for you. Be sure to get connected or arrive at the meeting on time. This is a signal to the school team that your child is your priority and that you value their time to help. The school should, on average, be able to serve about 80% of the students in the regular education program. If your child doesn't qualify for special education services, there are other possibilities that the team can explore to provide what's needed, like tutoring, a 504 plan, or counseling. There are many creative ways to provide services so that a child with a disability or learning difference can spend most or all of their time with typical peers. Research has shown that children with disabilities who spend a significant amount of the school day with their grade level peers have better educational and lifelong outcomes. Every child needs to be involved in regular grade level classes and activities as much as possible and appropriate for them. Parents can work with the team to look for as many opportunities as possible for the student to be included in regular education activities and classes. Those modifications and supports should be written into the Individualized Education Program. The Individualized Education Program, or IEP, protects your child's rights under IDEA. The goals and supports that your child needs so that they can get a free and appropriate education should be written in the plan. The IEP is flexible and can be changed at any time during the school year if something's not working as well as you or the teacher would like. Asking for a special education conference is a tool parents can use at any time during the school year to help solve problems. You don't have to wait for the school to invite you to the yearly required conference. If you have concerns or your child is not progressing, you can bring the team together to talk about possible changes that might help. Having everything in writing is a way to make sure that everyone knows what work to do with your child, so make sure you get a copy of any paperwork reviewed at the conferences. Depending on evaluation results and other information, the school's special education personnel will let you know how much speech, occupational, physical, or applied behavior analysis therapy time your child qualifies for at school, based on what skills are needed to help them to access their education. Children can receive therapy both in the clinic and at school if parents choose. Applied behavior analysis, or ABA therapy, is an evidence-based intervention that's typically used with children who have been diagnosed with autism. ABA therapy can be provided in the home, school, or clinic setting. If your child experiences seizures, needs to take medication at school, has food or other allergy, has a gastric tube for nutrition or other medical concern, let the team know. A health plan will be developed to make sure that everyone at school and on the bus, if needed, understands what to do. Since everything starts to get more hectic at the beginning of the school year in August, it's important not to assume that your child's new teacher or teachers will have received all the information they need for the first day of classes. To help, you can write a letter, send an email, or other communication to the teacher with your child's photo and reminders about any equipment, allergies, behavior suggestions, or other needs that can help your child to have a successful first day and week at school. Include your contact information so the teacher can reach you. You can look on the school's website for information about school supplies needed, lunch menus if your child will be eating the food from the school cafeteria, and details about transportation services. At the beginning of the school year, it's a good idea to find out the best way to stay in regular communication with the teacher and to let them know how to contact you. Let the kindergarten transition team know if you're concerned that your child's behavior might make it hard for them to learn at school. It will help the teacher to know what kinds of words, activities, and rewards your child responds to. This can be something you include in your letter to the teacher. If your child's behavior starts to impact their learning and being able to participate in the classroom, the school has several options for giving more support. This might include classroom interventions, consulting a behavior specialist, doing a functional behavior assessment, and making a behavior intervention plan. The IEP should be updated to include goals or plans the team decides your child needs to have put in place. It will be important to talk with school personnel if your child needs support for their sensory needs. Some children with developmental disabilities or delays have a hard time tolerating different kinds of sensory stimulation. For example, loud or repetitive sounds, lights, textures, or crowds of people may cause a child to look for calming sensations. Talk with the transition team and also the teacher about sensory issues your child may have, and especially what helps them to feel better and calmer. Breaks, physical activity, sensory activities and objects, or a safe place can all be added to the routine throughout the day. You can ask about an occupational therapy assessment if you feel your child's sensory concerns may need more support. Just like in preschool, it's important to know the school procedure for accidents, both minor ones and emergencies. It's best to get in touch with the teacher as soon as possible if your child has been hurt or had an accident at school or on the bus, and you either haven't been notified or just want more information. It's important to communicate as soon as possible and as calmly as possible with the school personnel so that you can get the answers you need to understand what happened and to be able to make decisions. You always have the right to ask for a copy of the written incident report. Here are some resources that can be helpful to you if you'd like more information. Our Division for Children and Families at ASN offers information about applied behavior analysis, or ABA therapy, for children and youth with autism up to age 21, and services for children and youth with disabilities up to 18 years of age that are in the custody of the Department of Human Services. Our Family Support Program serves families with children who have disabilities, as well as youth and adults with disabilities, and our services are free of charge. We provide information and training about special education services, health services, and educational and community resources. Thank you for your time today. We hope that this presentation has been helpful to you. If you'd like more information, please contact us.